Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to hide the kids and pop the top on a cold one. Coming to you from the Riverbank studio in Nitro, West Virginia, please welcome the inebriated cast of Section 304.
Welcome to Section 304 Podcast, where we're drinking beers and talking ears. I'm Jeremy Yost in the studio with Matt Durrett, John Crum, and we got some concerned boys.
A little sloppy on Saturday, huh?
Yeah.
A little?
Well.
Very, very sloppy. Chaos.
It was
getting plays in.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty.
It was unacceptable is what it was.
Did you ever think you'd see that be a problem?
We're a very young team. Very, very young.
We're young, and that was, normally you would already had fans to kind of get, you would have already played down in a neutral site. Then you would have played at home and fans. This is the first game that they've had any type of crowd noise that's not being piped in over a speaker. Not that it's an excuse. Your plays are your plays. It shouldn't be that hard.
I don't know that the crowd being piped in. They've all played in front of crowds before, right?
Right.
That sounds like you're just trying to give them a pretty...
No, and I'll tell you
how many we had 12 penalties.
That's what
right?
I was going to talk about.
How many of them were jumping off sides and or motion? The worst penalty of the whole day to me was Daggy not checking to make sure his
a penalty on Letty's.
That was whack. I'm just saying
bullshit penalty. And that's a water, not a beer. If you heard that crack, I can't drink beer anymore.
Too many banquets for
different story, different day. But
I'm talking about Daggy has to make sure everyone's lined up.
Right.
When you're trying to run some sort of 2-minute drill.
That's your job. You don't snap the ball. You don't do shit until everyone's set. And I understand you're hurried, but it don't do you no good.
He's not very good.
No, I think
if it's a free year and you're looking at what we're looking at, maybe we should go to the next man up in Game 3. His deep ball hangs way too long.
He didn't get a whole lot of help from his receivers either.
His passes weren't.
His outside receivers he did. Inside did.
Yeah, they were good. They were good.
We've become a team that on third down, it's almost a known commodity. We're running a slant.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was there's no question in it.
Yeah,
that was the call.
You're
a little quick slant,
third and whatever. You're
3rd and 20, 3rd and 75, 3rd and 3.
Here you have Letty Brown getting 4 or 5 yards of carry, and we're throwing fucking deep balls on first down.
Well, I don't have a big issue with that. If it wasn't for the fact that we lined up in a whole different set. It didn't even – you knew the ball wasn't going anywhere else but the air.
Right.
At least make it appear that we could run it.
You got to think that that's all pre-snap stuff, that they see the deep balls there. But I have not seen them connect very often to warrant taking that shot. Now, if you have Will Greer and Gary Jennings out there, I get it. But Daggy and James aren't Greer and Jennings. I can tell you that right now.
No,
or
they're
Sills. Not. The timing's not there. I think his ball was hanging in the air and didn't see a whole lot of crisp deep balls. He overthrew.
Russell Wilson's deep ball he is not throwing.
No.
That's for sure.
He overthrew Ford Wheaton, and Ford Wheaton dropped one that should have been a catch. He did get the PI, but, that probably was a touchdown.
I catch a lot of shit for for bashing our quarterbacks because I was not a fan of Austin Kendall last year either. Everybody fucked with me about that. Oh, who's better? Who's better? Who's better? You're not there. They're playing who's better. And then Daggy comes on and wins a couple games, and everybody's like, well, where the fuck's this guy been all year? Why haven't we been playing him? I'm just telling you, man. Daggy and Kendall, that's fine. If that's what you got now, they're placeholders. I don't think anybody expected them to be superstars. But when you sign a 4-star kid and you get a season that doesn't count and your offense looks like ours has looked, well, what are you losing?
You said what? By the 5th game?
Yeah.
And we're going into now game 3?
Yeah.
Against the Baylor team. I mean, if
Cowboy cut steak, motherfucker. Cowboy cut.
What, a ribeye or a
It's the one with
strip?
the handle.
it's the one with the handle.
The handle?
The
How do you want it
handle.
cooked?
Medium.
Rare?
Rare. You
I
can't
hope I
undercook
get
a
to do
steak
that.
for me.
Because
Well, but and here's the thing. I mean, we're ragging on Daggy. He was 20 for 37 for 285 yards. But we didn't get in the red zone hardly. We didn't. We got, just like last year, that 30-yard line threshold and can't do shit. We're not moving the ball. And then, I mean, and I understand we're bitching about it. And going into halftime, the game very well could have very easily been 10-10.
If you look at the stats from Saturday, it looks. I mean, we led in top and we had more yards and shit like that. I think like midway through the game, and we're down 17-0, 10-0, whatever the fucking score was. We hadn't got on the board. Our red zone offense is atrocious.
Yeah,
it's really not good, and I don't know if that comes to. I just don't see how you can get 4 or 5 yards a pop and then get it down within the 20, and all of a sudden you can't block.
Right. I mean, Letty was averaging 4 yards, 26 carries, 104 yards.
Yeah,
pretty good day.
Now, the bad part is, let's say 93 yards of that was what he created on the zone.
Yeah, I think, like, I read somewhere it was over, like, 60% of his yards were after first contact. I mean, he was a good back last year. I wouldn't have been mad if he would have got all the carries last year, but they got to figure something out because you can't be so one-dimensional like that. Then they just start loading the box on you.
Right, and that's where I was coming, with the throwing that deep ball. That deep ball's going to work a little bit if you come out in the same formation that you were always running, maybe do that shift with Letty from one side to the other, pre-snap, and then go deep and make little play action.
Winston Wright looked good on that ball he caught coming across the middle. He's got some wheels and some pull away speed. But
Reese Smith looked good. Little Edelman, T.J. Simmons looked good.
Yeah, T.J. had a couple of balls toward the end,
and him getting his head ripped off there. If you notice on that catch, I mean he never paid attention to the contact that was about to happen. Normally, when you get hung out to dry like that, 9 times out of 10 you'll get the alligator arms because you're about ready to get lit up.
When I was watching Saturday, I was telling people, I was like, man, you don't know how fucking hard this has been on these guys. Like, they're not practicing together. You're practicing in sections, and like you're doing virtual meetings. You can't do this. And then somebody said, big fucking deal. Alabama did the same thing, and they're beating the dog shit out of people. It's like, well,
it's Alabama.
I guess you have a point there, but everybody's had to face the same issues that every team's had the same issue this year in college football of the practice and all that. So you can't. There's not even that excuse.
I get that. I mean, you're not wrong, but not lining up and not.
Yeah,
sure,
I mean
that shit's inexcusable.
Yeah,
man.
those little things like that. That's very inexcusable, and it's something you didn't think you'd see.
I don't think
know.
we were ready to play.
Well, we did not look like
flat.
we were in shape either.
No.
I mean, we were come out second half, we were sucking wind. A lot of hands on the hips, kind of.
It's hot out there too.
It was hot.
Yeah.
What they say, 90 with the
94, I think, with the high humidity. It was warm, but I mean, it is what it is. Fuck it, man. It's game 2.
You think there's a discipline problem on this team?
No,
because
no.
I mean, you had how many guys got suspended before the first game?
Right. I don't think it's a discipline problem. I just think just like
man, it's college kids.
Right, and I mean
there,
huh?
You've been in college,
right?
You know what it is. I mean, just
9 times out of 10, Letty's run where he gets up and spins the ball. It's not like he did it in a player's face or something.
That was a horseshit call.
9 times out of 10, that 15-yarder doesn't get called.
That does not get called on Texas or Oklahoma.
No, absolutely not.
It's just, I don't think there's a discipline problem. I
hope not. I'm a little concerned. I'm not going to lie.
I think
it's kind of a mess right now. I mean, they shuffled guys in and out on the offensive line all day.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, it wasn't to keep them fresh. It was because they haven't found the right combination.
But
yet.
that's what I mean. Why wouldn't you? You know, I mean, what?
You're going to shuffle the line like that? Shuffle me a quarterback.
Well,
riddle me that.
And let's get into that because I told both of you guys were crazy.
Yeah, you did.
All I can tell you is
I don't think you guys are crazy anymore, and I'll tell you why. Has nothing to do with Daggy. Zero. Daggy's all right. He is what he is. He makes some nice throws. We are playing on offense with one hand behind our back because we do not have a running quarterback.
Right.
And Brown wants to run. I mean, we run. How many zone reads do we run a game?
Reads, and you can't. Those two can't run that. Daggy's fleet enough.
There's no threat that Daggy's going to keep the ball in his own read. Zero.
He's enough of a threat to keep a play alive, but he's not going to turn.
I would say Kendall's a better runner
water
than him.
into wine. Kendall runs
Kendall's
with cinder
slower.
blocks, dude.
Yeah.
Kendall is
But
slow as shit.
Kendall knows how to run better than he does. I'm not talking about scrambling and keeping a play alive. I'm just talking about faking the handoff and running and getting 4 or 5 yards. I have yet to see Daggy do anything like that.
Maybe that, but I mean, if you look at, that's what he was under with Oklahoma's offense. So,
and you can think that you've only seen Green for a quarter, but in that quarter, you saw that kid's got a lot of zip on the ball,
and he got some legs,
and he looks like he's ready to compete. And that's, you know what, man, that's half the fucking battle is just thinking you belong. Honestly,
yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
you've never seen a Heisman winner who didn't have a bit of a problem. And I'm not saying he's going to be a Heisman contender, but you've never seen a great player
not have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, who was extremely humble. Very rarely.
I wouldn't mind working him in a little bit.
Well,
because I'll be honest with you, he might cost you games with turnovers but are you going to tell me that we're going to have another 2 years of Jared Daggy and we're going to compete for a Big 12 title?
No. And like Diddy has said, and I've agreed with him, I think what you'll see with this being a free year, you'll end up seeing Green throw in there, and then, hey, sorry about your luck, guys, but the better player is going to play, and that's when you start seeing this is the future of my program and start –
the better fit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think he's a better fit, and I don't know if he'll be in by the 5th game, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's on the table soon.
I'd say you see him against Baylor.
I think that there's no way that you can't get in there and mix. You got to mix it up somehow because it's just that offense just wasn't good,
and it hasn't been good since last year.
And in turn of the offense being not good, your defense is out on the field a lot more, and then you end up with a tired ass defense that on a 3rd and 21 gives up a draw play to Chuba,
awful,
and lets him pad them stats. Madden style.
Did pretty good against him.
Until that last series.
I mean, the defense was gassed.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I mean, look, man, fuck it is what it is.
I would say the most disappointing thing from the defense Saturday was that they didn't get after that quarterback at all.
No.
I expected him to have a little bit tougher time back there with Stills and Massador, the Stills brothers and Massador and those guys. Fields had another good game. Adai had a good game.
Fields had that pick. That pick was huge, too.
Yeah.
Again, though, only got 3.
Which is, yeah. I mean,
you got to stop that. You can't be that team that gets into the red zone and takes 3s when you should be getting 7s.
Which I had my 3 field goals on the board. But
that's been a consistent problem for us for a couple years now. So it is what it is. I mean, look, man, it's early. Like he said, we're young. You don't want to make excuses for him, but I mean, fuck it. What do you do? The only problem I have, honestly, is I just don't like our quarterbacks. Right. The 2 that are playing. I don't like the 2 that are playing. I like the freshmen, and I want to see. Look, if our offense is going to be that stale and that predictable, I mean, can you keep watching that?
Well, no, you can't. And
how do you expect to win in the Big 12? Only
exactly.
scoring,
You got to mix
20
that
points
shit
a
up,
game?
man.
I mean, in that game, Daggy got a grade out at 50.2.
What? I know that's based out of 100, but what is a good day?
Well, I mean, if you scroll up
is
here,
like
I mean,
a 75 a good day?
Well, yeah, I mean, Zach
Okay.
Frazier was the highest grade at 63.9.
Ooh, it's a D.
So,
Not too good.
you know,
He needs to start for the rest of the year.
our pass offense
From jump,
graded out at 50.6. Receivers pass routes scored a 51.2.
gentlemen, I've just looked at the phone here, not to interrupt you. Milan Pushkar Stadium at 25% capacity.
Yes, it
for
is.
the Kansas game.
October 17th.
Welcome back, fans.
Welcome back. No tailgating, but who cares?
Did you get that off our Facebook site?
No, I was browsing the phone here
Because I
and
shared it a
saw-
little bit ago. I'm in. I'm going. If
You're
I get
going-
tickets.
If you get tickets.
If I
would
can get
probably go,
tickets,
too.
I will go. I mean, fuck it, man. I'll go up and back.
It'd be a quick trip. It's not going to be a whole day like you're used to.
No, I'd get up at probably 8:30 or so and leave instead of my usual 6 o'clock departure time to make it for pregame festivities and watch it and then bounce.
But when we're talking about the line,
Uh-huh.
the pass blocking graded out at 25.8.
They got killed. They were awful. The pass blocking was just piss
Run
poor.
block was 52.2. Our rush offense was 61.8.
How many times did we run the ball?
We ran the ball. I've got that right here.
No. I'm talking about it's like 3rd and 9.
Oh.
I mean, there was.
There's a lot of those.
I'm
like
not a
you were
guy who
talking-
bangs on play calling because I don't think I think they call every play thinking it's going to work, but it just seemed like it was a mess on Saturday. There was no flow. I look. We haven't scored 30 points in a Big 12 game since the Texas game last year.
It wasn't pretty.
So something's got to change.
12
And it's
penalties
gonna be
for
the
100.
quarterback,
I'm with you. I told you.
and it's going to be the
QB?
quarterback.
And you're not going to win any game when you get 12 penalties for 106 yards. It ain't going to happen.
For those of you who think I hate all of our quarterbacks too, that's a lie. Studstill, Mage, Pat White, Gino, Will Greer, Chad Johnston, Mark Bulger. I liked all those dudes.
I don't have anything against Aggie. I just don't think he
It's just not
has the
I don't-
wheels.
I don't have
we
anything
need a
against
running
Aggie.
quarterback.
I don't have anything against him at all. I think when it came down to the better of the two last year, Day was the better between him and Kendall. And it
Yeah.
just kind of – but I think last year's offense was also a little bit different. I mean, it seems like we're kind of evolving back into that type of running offense more now. But as opposed to last year, now we can't throw the ball. So it's, I'd much rather have a great running game with a mediocre passing game. But right now, it's not even a mediocre passing game. It's just not there.
It's not even a mediocre run game. It's
We don't have a mid to deep.
right. We
on
don't
the
do anything
pass.
good
No.
on offense.
No, we do enough to get by and get moving, but
I don't know. They got to make some changes though. I play some of the freshmen. Play Green. You have freshman wide receivers that they've talked about. Play them. It's time to see. Nothing against Sam James, but he can fly. But does he make any outstanding plays, like outstanding catches? That guy from Oklahoma State ate his lunch.
oh, absolutely.
The cornerback.
Yeah, I mean he was all over him, and he couldn't. I mean he couldn't break away, couldn't get free.
He
and
gets
he's
a case
not.
of the drops too.
He does. Well, and that's what I was going to say.
All of
He's
them
not the
do.
type of the receiver that, like a T.J. Simmons, that's getting ready to take contact and will go ahead and try to catch the ball and bring on the contact. James kind of has the tendency to get the gator
the fuck's
arms.
going on with my boy Ali?
I don't know. He's not even seeing the field, is he?
No, he was over there in a fucking hat.
Is he hurt?
He's
I don't
got to
know.
be.
He was
He's got to
he's
be
gotta be
hurt.
hurt.
Yeah, he was over there in a hat. I mean, he was dressed.
We could
but
use him. He's an outside guy.
Because even if they
him
deci-
and Winston are both burners, dude.
even if they decided to redshirt him, you wouldn't do that this year because it's free.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I haven't seen him on the injury report or anything, but
I'll see what I can
fucking
find
know,
out.
man. He hadn't played. Makes no sense to me. How you go from being like the backup to the backup at the outside receiver slot on the 2 deep come first week of the season to seeing no action through 2 games. Makes no fucking sense to me at all. None.
Did you all listen to Brown after the game?
No.
boy, he wasn't happy.
I was drinking heavy.
Were you?
He wasn't happy,
Don't blame you.
and he, not that he was Holgerson-esque, but it was very. They were just. I'm answering your question. I'm not elaborating. He just wanted. It was almost like, I want to get off here so I can go chew their ass, because, like you said,
Do you think he chews their ass?
oh, I think he does, and
I do too.
and the way it went yesterday or Saturday when he said the way he was answering questions. One of them asked him a question. He said, "Look," he said, "I've said it all the time. We've got to quit beating West Virginia's got to quit beating West Virginia." He said, "And that's what we did today." He said, "We beat ourselves." He said, "Not taking anything away from Oklahoma State." He
Oklahoma
said,
State's not that good.
No, and he kind of, in a roundabout way, talked about it.
I don't know about that. I think they have the best defense in the league.
They may have the
They're
best.
not your traditional Gundy score 55 points and outscore you. They're a little bit different than they've been in the past.
but they were beatable.
Very beatable. Very beatable. There's no question about that. I thought his comments, if you go back and you listen to it's a 15-minute press conference. If you listen to the last minute, that's the best part.
Right.
He talks about, before we learn to win these big games, we got to learn not to lose them.
Yeah.
And we lost it on Saturday. There's no doubt about it.
He said that, and Crum poured himself a double, shot that down with some Tylenol, and took a nap.
It's, again, the penalties to me is very concerning because they were dumb penalties.
And hey,
Take away Letty's bullshit call. The other penalties are all stupid penalties. The jumping off sides, the not being lined up, the delay a game. You just get a change of possession and get a delay a game.
the substitution penalties are bad too. That's all on the coaching.
That is well,
That's all
substitution
coaching,
is.
yeah. We had two delay games because we sub late, and
And let the defense, because
Yeah.
they get their.
that's unacceptable. I tell you what, it'd be nice if someone would learn how to hop on a fumble.
We missed,
How many
what,
times
2
did
of
they
them?
they fumbled 4 times.
The kickoff,
We
I
didn't
thought
get
we
one.
had.
Oh,
That
That changes everything.
Then Chuba's fumble. That center was pretty quick on the one with Chuba, but that kickoff hit dude in the chest, and I thought a dive was going to get a scoop and score.
I'll be honest,
He'd have
that
been-
would have been a game changer.
He'd have been better off to just dive on it. I mean, I know you want to make that highlight play, but I mean, fuck, man. I thought a die had that one on the kickoff, but man, it is what it is. Like I said, I mean, they're young; they'll grow from it. The offense, I think, the only real positive you can take from there is the play of Letty Brown. The defense,
right, too.
the defense still looked good. They're just out there too long, and like you said, they're not in great shape. And when you're out there that long and you've not had your full spring, full summer camps, and you're expected to do it on your own, it's not the same. So shit happens. I think we'll get one back this weekend, and then I'm pretty excited. Hopefully, we can get some tickets for Kansas.
Yeah, and I agree with you about the plus side with Letty. I'm also giving it to Reese Smith and T.J. Simmons, the
How many
inside
catches did
receivers.
Smith had?
I think he had
a drop though, didn't he?
He
A
did.
pretty bad drop.
He had one that
Yeah.
he would have been running for a little bit.
If Simmons doesn't bobble that ball, he probably scores a touchdown.
Oh yeah, Reese Smith had one catch for 9 yards.
It was an out route, I believe.
It
He
was
got a
that.
first down. He ran a
Mhm.
great route. Need to get him the ball more.
Sam James 5 for 32, Simmons 4 for 82, Winston Wright 4 for 103.
Winston's
So-
was all on one catch, though, pretty much.
Yeah,
That was like a 60.
That long one for a
That was
touchdown.
like a 60-yard score. But I mean, look, man, our skill position is fine with like I said again, with the exception of quarterback. Our receivers are good. Running backs are good. Our line is not very good, which is the main problem on offense.
You're right.
And then red zone is just a fucking killer.
So we're not any good. Is what you're
we'll
saying.
win some games. Red zone. If they can get that red zone straightened out and stop taking 3s instead of 7s, I think we'll be all right.
And once they get a line, once they figure out their line and they start gelling, But you talk to any lineman, they'll tell you the easiest thing to do is pass block.
They got worked.
They
flat out got worked. Now, to be fair, I thought the fumble that they scored on was Daigie's fault. He's got to get rid of the ball.
He held it too long.
It's third and long. You got to get rid of the ball. So, whatever. They'll be all right, though. I think we're going to bounce back. We'll have a good week of practice, and we'll be all right. I'm not discouraged. It just sucks that a big win was kind of there for the taking, and we just
I didn't ruin my Saturday. None of this shit feels normal to be watching anyway, so it's kind of like a blah season.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see people really going ape shit and overboard about these things. I just hope by fucking basketball it's back to some sense of normal, man, because that's a fucking wrecking crew, and I can't wait.
It might be a little different getting to go up there into a game and starting to feel a little bit more, but watching it. Well, let's take a break, and then we'll come back, talk a little bit more of the Big 12 and some other things, and get ready to get out of here soon.
Upset City.
It was an upset. We'll be back.
We'll be right back after this word.
Son of a bitch!
When your heating and cooling system needs service, turn to Francisco Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been delivering quality service in West Virginia since 1980. No matter the make or model, Francisco Heating and Cooling can make sure your unit is back in service in no time, and their work is guaranteed. Francisco Heating and Air Conditioning is fully licensed and insured and is a certified Trane dealer. And remember, it's hard to stop a Trane. Find them on Facebook or call 304-542-1895. Catch the Mountaineers in comfort with Francisco Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hey, this is Brian Joswiak, and we're drinking beers and talking ears on the Section 304 podcast.
Hey! This is you, baby. This is you! No!
You must show us some respect.
It's a seesaw battle. Neither offense can move. Colts driving now with the ball. Armadillos better stop them. Now, how could the ref call that? It was a clean kick to the face mask.
Guy's going apeshit.
Illegal contact! Number 51! Zenkutsu elbow thrust! To the up back! Oimawatsu roundhouse lunge kick! To the quarterback! Takatami Answer block to the... Shoot, never mind. 15 yards! First down!
Podcast, and we'll run down some Big 12 games. Let's just talk about
that. You only need to talk about one. Oklahoma getting beat.
Man,
shocker!
24 unanswered points.
I turned that off.
Very surprising. Very, very surprising to see that. How do you think their week's going this week?
Hard to say. I mean, how many picks did Rattler throw? 3?
I think 3.
I think it's 3 or 4, yeah.
That Kansas State had like 8 guys out from COVID too, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That they lose to Arkansas State and then bounce back and beat Oklahoma. How in the hell does that happen?
That's solid. That's the way this year's going to be.
It might be wild. I mean, Mississippi State pounded LSU.
LSU lost how many of their players?
Their whole team went to the NFL.
Yeah,
right.
And then their good players that were returning all set out to go train for the NFL because they didn't want to play in this shit.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know if you can hold that against LSU. I mean, it's still embarrassing to get pounded out like
Mississippi
that, but
State.
whatever,
Old
man.
Leach.
Yeah.
His press conference was classic, though.
Yeah,
it always
I
is.
haven't watched that. I
The
need to see
aliens
that.
are doing weird things down there.
And then, I really thought that Texas Tech was going to.
Not surprising they blew it, but
Oh, no.
yeah, I thought that one was over too.
When the pick six came and
When that guy broke that long run, I was
Yeah.
like, that's over.
so
Texas might be back. We'll
Maybe.
see. We'll see. Iowa State beat TCU, right?
Iowa State, I believe, did beat TCU.
I don't know. I got a feeling that the Big 12 is three. It's a 3-team race. It's Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Texas, and then the rest, the other 7 teams. Who knows? Obviously, Kansas is the worst team, but
And track around the field.
4 to 9 is
Well, how about
a crapshoot.
that was the trivia question during our game,
Oh yeah,
and they even said this really isn't surprising. They're pretty much everyone's record breaker, aren't they? And
Yeah.
are we ever going to play good against Oklahoma State? Because it doesn't ever seem to happen. It seems
even when we beat them, we played like
The
shit.
day will come, gentlemen. The day will come. Y'all see the top 25?
no.
How y'all feel about Ohio State and the
don't.
Big 12 or the Big 10 and all them shits being added right back in?
Like it was nothing.
Ohio State is 6th.
I mean, they might be the best team in the country. Why are you surprised?
Because they haven't played a fucking game, and then Oregon's back in there, and you got the Wisconsin. I just don't dig the adding
You
them
think
back in.
Marshall and Louisiana Lafayette and Kentucky and whoever else was in there at the bottom of the top 25.
I don't buy that either, but I'm saying, like, let them play a fucking game first, okay?
Yeah.
Don't just throw them right back in because their season's back on. Make them play a fucking game. I just don't dig that, the way that it seems that, well, who am I kidding? It's fucking ESPN. They don't do shit but gobble the fucking knob of the Big Ten and the SEC anyway, bunch of fucking assholes. But I just don't understand why they announce their season's back on and you automatically throw them right back in there and rank them over teams that have played.
And it's not like they're only a game behind.
They're 3
games behind.
I don't dig it.
Who ranked behind them would you?
Everyone.
Who would you think
Everyone. I wouldn't even put them in the top 25 right now, honestly.
Who would you think could beat them?
Miami should be ranked ahead of Ohio State right now.
Miami looks pretty good.
Miami beat the dog shit out of Florida State.
Well,
Yes,
Florida
they did.
State is trash.
Well,
We probably would have beaten them if we played.
if you feel like Texas is back, Texas is
Texas
ranked
should be.
9th. Ohio State's in front of them.
Ohio State would crush Texas.
Well, but you're in here telling me that Texas is back. Texas has played 2 fucking games. Ohio State hasn't played 1. I just think there's too much respect given to Ohio
To a
State.
name.
Yeah, and I don't think Wisconsin always shits down their leg. Let's be honest. I mean, give them whatever you want. They're always going to shit up their back when it comes crunch time to do something. And, it's not going to fucking surprise me if you see maybe like a Michigan or somebody slide in there without playing a game. It just annoys me that they've not played. They say their season's back, and now everybody's just ready to throw them right back in and say that they're this, that, and the other. Fuck that. Make them play before you rank them. I don't dig that.
And that's why I say I honestly right now wouldn't have them in the top 25.
Yeah, but,
Play the game, you win your first game, you win it handily. Okay. Then we'll move
Add
you
you
up
back.
in the top 15.
What's Mississippi State ranks?
I don't think they were they?
I don't believe
No, what are they
ranked.
now?
Oh.
Because this is what I have a problem with.
16th.
Oh. Normally, when an SEC team knocks off a top 10 SEC team, they immediately get voted into the top 10.
Oklahoma State beat us and dropped 2 spots.
Yeah.
They didn't look very good, though. Let's be honest.
No, I'm not going to disagree. Actually, fuck me. You know what? Michigan's in. Michigan's ranked 23rd.
That's what I was just. Ooh. Yeah.
So there you go. Not even played a game. They're already back in. Just because Jim Harbaugh's their guy. Let's be honest. Michigan shits up their back a lot, too, and he cannot win in the shoe.
Well,
he can't beat them, period. Let alone the
Exactly.
shoe.
Exactly. But I don't appreciate Ohio State being top 10.
Look at your AP poll. Even though there's an asterisk.
Did they put an asterisk next to the...
They've got Oregon at 14.
They're only playing 7 games.
Yeah. Ohio State has an asterisk at 6.
According to you 2 weeks ago, that doesn't matter. When I said, what do you do with these fucking teams that are starting late? Because
strictly talking about Ohio State.
Let's say Oregon goes 7-0.
Ooh.
How are you going to feel about it? It's a fucking problem. It's a problem, and it's going to fucking happen.
And that's what.
And it's going to happen.
That's why they're dragging their feet, and not putting out a guideline or anything on it, so they can do what they want to do, instead of saying, "Hey, here's the guideline on it. We're not waiting," because all they said was, "We're not waiting around on you."
Do the playoff?
Yeah. It's going to happen, and you know it's going to happen.
So now you're not waiting around on them.
SEC team pissed because they lost one game. They got fucking rolled out by Bama. But,
in the championship game.
And then they're going to be paid, well, why shouldn't we get in? Place at the table. We started our season on time. Ohio State played less weeks. They're healthier. This, that. It's all going to come into play. It's going to happen.
We'll see.
We'll see. Do you put a 10-1 team from the SEC losing and I'm getting the 11th game off of the championship game. Do you put them out and put a 9-0 Ohio State team in?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Ohio State's we talked about this.
Team.
I
hate to say I hate Ohio State.
I like Justin Fields.
I was furious when they bumped TCU out in 2014, and then they go on and win the championship. But
well, let's be
It's
honest,
going to happen again this
year
year because I'm telling you, it's going to be the winner of the SEC championship one way or another. They always trade off. Georgia either beats Bama in the season, then Bama wins the FCC title, or the other way around, or LSU that way, and those two SEC teams are still going to get the fuck in.
Okay, right there. Bama loses to Georgia. Do you not put Bama in because of Ohio State?
No. I'd put an undefeated Ohio State in over them.
You'd put an undefeated Ohio State in over a one-loss Alabama team.
Absolutely.
That lost in the championship game. You have to. Why? They've played less games.
But Ohio State's one of the top 4 teams in the country.
Okay, so and Alabama's not?
Would they be ranked ahead of, let's see here, Clemson? No.
Clemson's going to steamroll the fucking ACC.
Yeah,
Don't even. That's Clemson's place at the table. Trevor Lawrence should be sitting there already.
Just get his reservations ready.
Him and Etienne, or however the fuck you say that running back's name, they're waiting. They have the keys to that kingdom already.
Would you put a one-loss Alabama in over undefeated Texas?
Yes. Over an undefeated Texas, yes.
I don't think that's right. But we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. One-loss Alabama and undefeated Texas. Fuck Ohio State. There's your solution. Ohio State played less games.
Right.
Thought the world was going to stop because the Big Ten stopped. Fuck those guys. Took their ball, tried to run home, and the rest of the world said, fuck you. And now look what they're doing. Starting late. Should have never got off the train, boys. Sorry, you get punished. You get punished. You don't get a place at your table for going fucking 9-0.
Your punishment is, hey, congratulations, you got your championship.
Not our fault that your fucking commissioners and your presidents are all fucking pussies. Should have stayed. Should have stayed.
Gun big time.
Should have stayed and
Definitely
played.
jumped the gun.
And then the Max coming back.
Little Maction.
What?
Pass.
They
could cut that fucking shit conference all the way out altogether.
Hey, at one time though, when it looked like the other schools weren't going to play, at one time a lot of the analysts had Cincinnati in at 4
for the playoff. That's not happening.
No,
now.
not now.
Yeah,
not
right.
now.
No,
but
yeah.
that's, you know,
I'd take a fucking 2-loss SEC team over them.
I'll agree with you on that. But I'm just saying how things
quickly. Fuck it. Let them in. Mix it up. Who cares?
I'm just saying any other time.
It's going to be an interesting year. I think there are going to be a lot more upsets just because of how strange things are right now.
Well, since
Saturday was pretty wild.
Saturday was wild, and now we're coming into another weekend. Got Baylor coming into Morgantown.
Baylor coming to town.
Let's just go set up on Law School Hill.
And we are 3-point dogs at home.
Where do you think that line ends up?
I'd say that line
1.5.
Yeah, I was going to say it'll drop to 1.5, if not a pick 'em.
I'd probably bet Baylor.
I don't know anything about Baylor.
I know.
Other than they lost a coach.
I don't know much about Baylor either, but I mean, they had two games.
He's already taken the bet.
No,
he's already placed.
Nope.
Pounding that line,
thousands,
betting it down.
No, because I
sharked it.
I do one WVU game a year, and I took this one. So
Oak State,
yeah,
only one a year, huh?
Yeah.
Don't want to bet with your heart.
Nope.
It clouds your judgment.
It does. So I do one a year, and then of course when it comes to the bowl games, I will always pick us in the bowl game regardless. But just
I don't know how that strategy long term works out.
I normally do.
Not very good. Not very good.
I normally do two cards on that.
Yeah, you get your
one with my heart,
crushed.
and then one. The one with my heart is looking at nothing else but the teams that I kind of like.
He fills out the bracket pool every year and puts West Virginia in the Final Four too, winning the Natty.
Done that a few times.
I've done that a few times. I normally get us Sweet 16, sometimes Elite 8. The year we did go to the Final Four, I had us in the Final Four in the championship game. And
we tend to catch a pretty hard road in, though.
Oh, every year.
Get matched up with the best one seed every
I want that fucking
time.
Duke road one year. I want to play at home in the second round, play like 2 hours away. Just somebody give them that. But nah, man, fuck it. Baylor this weekend. I hope my boy gets under center. I'll be
It'd be a good wrinkle in the red zone.
Yeah, I'll be caping for that until they put him in there. I feel like a lot of people are starting to come around to my vision, though.
I think so, too.
A lot of people who told me I was fucking stupid, not just you. I'm talking about people I work with and shit. They're all saying, oh, you might be right. These guys aren't very good. Well, no fucking shit.
So let me ask, so you're Neil Brown going into Saturday against Baylor. I mean, obviously the quarterbacks are getting reps now in practice, like just in case, what if scenarios. How many scenarios or how many series of stagnation do you give Daggy before you say let's throw a wrinkle, let's see what it does?
It's a tough question.
If you were Coach Brown.
4.
I like that number because I was thinking the same thing.
4.
At least
how many possessions do you get in a quarter typically? Not if you have a bunch of turnovers or.
It's a quarter. It's something like six or 7
a quarter,
roughly.
I was thinking it'd be like 3 or 4, but
I'm
with you. Like 3 or 4 would. And if we're not moving the ball at all, if we haven't scored, then.
And I mean, I hate to say it, but I just don't want to see Kendall ever step on the field again.
Right.
I'm past that guy. Like
I'm around the four range too because I figured one punt and then get close. Start driving and stall, get near the red zone. Can't break that threshold. If we can't
hang that fucking duck up there,
maybe a turnover. And then it's
I think you have to.
I
think you have to tell young Mr. Green, take them reps a little more serious this
ready,
week, son, because we're looking at you.
Yeah,
take them reps a little more serious. Be ready. Come into Saturday and be ready.
Study your film.
You might get the call. People say you're crazy for wanting to do that 2 weeks in, but what do you have to lose? Neither of those guys are the future.
So, in a normal season, yeah, you would be crazy, but right now, everything's off the table.
I don't know, man. I mean, I just don't see this offense ever being 100% without a guy who can run at quarterback.
But and to me, when you look that you grade out at a 25, you failed your pass blocking.
Oh.
You need someone that's a scrambler. Now with Pat White and Steve Slayton, I mean, we had a phenomenal line with Sheffy, Moses, Stanchak, Justice, those guys. But you even take Pat White, a mobile quarterback with a shit line.
Pat made him look good.
Right. He's going to make things.
You're right.
Make things happen more.
Read option shit.
Right. Instead of a read option, knowing
they could
that
miss a block and Pat White would make the defender look stupid.
Right. And if you go back, I mean, teams go back and watch film. You go back and watch film and say, hey, they're going to run this read option, and 98% of the time he's going to hand it off whether it's the right read or not.
A friend of mine's dad had his claim or statement has always been that West Virginia needs a quarterback that can run for his life. Because
look at him.
Usually our offensive line, we have good lines, but sometimes they're not the best.
Look at most of our good quarterbacks take Bolger
Exactly.
out of the picture. I mean, but Bolger had an arm that could get him out of any trouble.
And he had 2 receivers that were fucking monsters.
Two.
Foreman and Saunders.
Corey Ivy?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about him being in there with that.
Pat Green was underrated. You had a first-round tight end, too.
Backed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
He spread the ball around. He'd have thrown for 9,000 yards in a Big 12 offense.
He'd have done some damage.
Yeah.
He was part of the greatest show on turf in the NFL. Let's not forget that.
Well, let's take a break. We'll come back to the beer of the week and predictions.
Boogie's Driving Range and Barbecue. A natural grass driving range located in Tornado, West Virginia, beside Big Bend Golf Course. Open 7 days a week with golf ball dispenser. Boogie's offers a great barbecue menu with delicious items right off the wood fire grill, fresh every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We also have a newly remodeled clubhouse with bar and a large patio to enjoy the peaceful mountain air. Open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday, and 11 to 9 p.m. on Sunday. Boogie's Driving Range and Barbecue.
Stratowski, come here. Do you know what he said to me in the library? Yes, him. Out.
The Cons don't seem to have an answer for Dunham, who's averaging close to 12 yards a carry this half.
Green, 67. Green, 67.
Oh, what a hit on Dunham by Switowski.
I think I made him shit himself.
I think he just shit himself.
I think he just shit himself.
Good Lord, this guy shit himself big time.
See, I told you I made him shit himself.
Yo, I make sure I send them books to the hospital, pimp.
And some diapers.
Podcast, and an interesting tweet came out this weekend, Diddy, about
not interesting to me.
I agree, but it's interesting to one person at this table.
Yeah, because he doesn't believe it. I think it showed through last year at the end of the season that this guy was probably the best all-around player on the team.
I think it's you say through last year. I'd say it showed the second he showed up on campus.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, John Rothstein, the CBS writer, sports writer, said that well-embedded moles have told him that Deuce McBride is the best player on our team, which that's great because you need guards in March.
Absolutely, and I mean everyone. From what I've heard from people connected to the basketball team, is he's got the type of work ethic like a Javon Carter. So to start hearing this doesn't really surprise me.
Touch more athletic than JC, though.
Yeah, a lot
bigger.
more.
Yeah, probably more of an NBA type player on our team,
an everyday player
than most. Yeah, not a role player. I think he can do it all. That wasn't surprising to me. You got to figure that guy's putting in the fucking work with the way he came in last year, and came in and got his playing time right away. Wasn't scared of the moment.
Well, I mean, think about it when he showed up over there with the starters and Huggins asked him, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I see myself as a starter." And Huggins is like, I'll do you." Well,
he's a good player, man. That basketball team's so fucking loaded, though. So loaded.
And it seems like the egos are being managed very well.
Seems like they all get along.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It seems like it's
like
more.
If you look at any of their social media shit, they're always
They're always
generally
together.
all together, or they're in groups of like 3s, 4s, and 5s, where they seem to hang out quite a bit. And got another big body in Cottrell, however you say his name. Bridges is, they say, the best shooter on the team. That's a positive thing. You get a guy that size that can shoot the ball and space the floor. Just fucking basketball, man. I'm telling you,
this is the year.
It has to be.
This
is
team,
the year. This is the team that's going to make another run to the Final Four.
Because you're not going to have those big bodies down low. And when I say that Deuce is the best player, I mean all-around player.
Right.
As in what he can do
defense,
with
offense,
basketball all around.
Leadership.
The most important player obviously would be O. With the rim protection, the rebounding, and all that shit. But when you say best all-around player, that's why I say that's not surprising to me. He was our best all-around player last year. That's the way I look at that, is all around. Now, best player, most important player, probably O. And I think O is out after this year.
Yeah, and I don't think it's surprising. I mean, I think everyone kind of anticipates that with him coming back after kind of testing the waters and listening to some feedback on what he needs to work on.
And I'm telling y'all, man, if he can wake up and not take 3/4 of the year off, Emmett Matthews a bad motherfucker. Emmett Matthews is a bad dude.
I like Emmett. And
if he can come in to the season, he started out last year pretty good, took that hard fall, and it seemed like that kind of rattled him. And then he didn't come back around until late in the season, and he started getting it rolling.
And then that Baylor game, it clicked for him, but it clicked for that whole team. Yeah. And that's why I hated that things ended the way they did, because we were rolling in with a huge upset against Baylor, rolling into the tournament, feeling good, and then get shut down.
I hope they figure out something with this Atlantis thing. I'd like to see us get fucking Duke and those cats right off the bat, too.
That'd be fun.
I read somewhere that the battle for Atlantis is supposedly relocating. This is what I think it was on ESPN.com. They said that supposedly relocating to South Dakota, but I've also read that Duke may try to put together a tournament in Durham for social injustice and invite some teams, and they all play there in Durham. So maybe we get a nod to head to Durham and play some early season shit. It's going to be a little weird with them starting a little later this year, but
when are they starting?
Day after Thanksgiving, November 25th.
Yeah. That's how it used to be, though.
Did it?
Did it really?
Oh yeah, back in the early '90s, basketball didn't start until around Thanksgiving.
Then they're talking the NBA is probably not coming in until like March or April or something like that, which big fucking deal. By the way, I hope the Heat absolutely fucking crush the Lakers, and I hope Jimmy Butler hangs his sack across LeBron James's face with a nasty fucking dunk on the baseline. There is not a player I loathe more than LeBron James. Disgusting to me. And I cannot wait. I hope the Heat just absolutely beat the shit out of the Lakers in 4.
I tell you who has been underappreciated is Spoelstra. Because he wins a couple championships, and everyone's like, oh, that's all LeBron. And now he gets back to the finals with a whole different cast of characters.
Yeah, and I tell you, man, watching that shit the other night, they showed that little post-game celebration, and LeBron's just quoting everything like Kobe used to. Kobe, they were up 2-0, and he said, what's there to smile about? Job's not done. Now LeBron's coming into his press conferences. Job's not done. Get an original thought, you fucking clown. Would you? Like, stop. And then he takes his shoes and shit off and sits down on the court and just looks unhappy that they just won the Western Conference Finals. Give me a break, dude. Your act is tired, and you're a fucking clown. I think most of the world is becoming tired of him as well. But I'm going to end that little rant right there. That's something for another day, another time. I just hope the Heat fucking railroad the Lakers.
Well, and then you saw that Rivers is out. Doc Rivers is out at the Clippers.
Yeah, because that was Doc Rivers' fault. Paul George can't fucking shoot.
Right.
Okay. And the fact that they're all out of shape and fucking in the fourth quarter gassed out because Paul's catching bass and down in Disney instead of running fucking gassers to get himself ready for the fourth quarter.
I think Denver might have a squad.
Jamal Murray's nasty.
He's a player. Michael Porter Jr. might be a player too.
That back holds up.
Yep.
That back holds up.
All right, beer of the week, and let's get out of here.
Okay.
We got a big Monday Night Football game.
I don't know if it's big. I'm going to play Warzone.
It's time for the Beer of the Week award.
All right, Diddy. Who do you give it to?
It's got to be Letty. That's the only player who had a Paul. Well, Letty or Fields.
You give it to Letty. I'm giving it to Fields.
There you go.
I'll give it to Wright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of beers to be given out after that game.
No.
I drank all the extra ones that we would have gave out.
You drank all
Saturday.
the banquets.
Drank everything Saturday.
Yost drank all the bourbon.
Won some money on Adesanya.
These guys they don't need to be cracking beers. They need to be working on
drinking water,
lining up and studying their film. So
that's for sure.
Okay. Well, then we'll get into predictions. Like I said, WVU's getting 3 at home against Baylor.
I'll take his money line.
You'll take his money line straight up.
Straight up. Give me the good guys.
What score?
It don't matter what the score is if you take a money line.
17-10?
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly, ugly affair.
I was thinking 24-20 West Virginia.
It's going to be that game. This game's going to resemble your big side.
Last year was a boring
It's going to resemble the big side chick you try to hide from all your buddies. Or the big chick that you keep on the dial, but you try to keep her away from letting anybody know that you're affiliated. That's what this game's going to be like watching. It's just not going to be good. It's going to be ugly.
I'm going to take us 28-16.
Think we can score 28?
I'm hopeful.
I don't think we can, but
I'm hopeful.
I'd like to win.
I just want to see a click, and I think, I'm telling you, I think Green's going to come in.
I tell you what, if we sputter again this week on offense, you're going to see him. I'll be cooking you guys steak.
Here he is.
I'll make
Amazing.
I'll make you the best fucking steak you've ever had.
Amazing how it goes from no shot, no shot, no shot, no shot. You're crazy to I'm coming around.
Here we go.
I'm coming around. You might be right. He looked pretty good in that first game. Look, the world's on board with Garrett Green, too. You just heard it here first. That's all it is. Let's call him like a CM Boyce. No bullshit.
This would be like 1 out of 25 for you because you're normally wrong.
McCabe will prove me wrong prove me right this year.
I hope so. I hope
that's
he's
the
awesome.
long play on Jordan McCabe.
The long play.
That's the long play. It's the long con.
He just said it would happen. Didn't say it was going to necessarily be last
guy's
year.
The point guard. It's coming.
Are you sure McBride's not the point guard?
No, he's a point 2 guard.
Combo guard. Yep.
Yep.
Hey, that being said, let's get out of here.
All right.